Welcome back, everyone. We got a subject we're going to talk about that I think is so important. We're going to jump right into it. Joining me today is Lori Nadeau and Bill Marszalek. They're with the organization Northeast Parent and Child and Parsons Child and Family. These are organizations that deal with foster care. And the reason I'm saying that we're going to jump right into it is that it's an emotional topic. It's one that you need to know more information about, and there's really something that you can do. So, Lori, I'm going to start with you. Your title, I think you told me, is Recruiter Homefinder.
Yes.
That's really something.
Yes.
So you're right, as we say in our business, you're right in the trenches.
Right. Yeah.
You are. Tell me, what is it like, this world?
It is incredibly rewarding. It can be tough at times, but it's incredibly rewarding. I get to go out and find the new foster parents and train them and support these families through this incredible work that they're doing.
I know. Now, Bill, you mentioned to me that you've been involved for like 20 years.
Yes, I've been all different types of levels of the services system.
Outside the fact it takes a very special person to do this.
Yes.
There are certain things, you said to me, every situation is unique.
Yes.
So, we can't really just tell you, oh, here's what it's like if you're a foster child, or here's what it's like to be a foster family or parent. But with each one being different, what do you see as the biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge is, we're really looking for the permanency for the children, and we're looking at all those barriers that get in the way of the permanency for the children. And, so being able to kind of have flexibility, got to have a lot of flexibility, to be a foster parent, and dealing with the court systems and things like that. So those can be barriers because they can slow our processes down sometimes. But really, our goal is to end up at permanency for all of our children that we serve.
I would have thought permanency and safety as well. You think about the children from birth to 21. You were telling me,
yes.
Right? I think, and if there's an average age, maybe 10 to 12. Think about that. Think about that if you have children. Think about being 10 or 12 and how impressionable you are at that age and how much you need that just sort of protection, that comfort, that mentoring, that, just that whole sense. It becomes a very emotional topic, right? And you see it every single day, don't you?
I do, and what's fantastic is that there's so many different ways that people can kind of get involved with kids that are in foster care and make a big difference in their world. There's the full-time fostering we talked about, having kids come live in your home full-time, but then there's also respite care, having kids come in just little bits of time to give their families a break or to help families keep kids in their home, doing kind of this preventative respite, we call it, or there's kids that are freed for adoption and waiting for families in New York already.
Bill, the scope of services goes beyond a child needs to be placed in a home, right? We were talking before we went on air that, let's face it, if we're just going to be blunt about it, we've got a drug issue that's going on upstate New York, so it could be an opioid issue, it could be any kind of different abuse issue inside a home, but it could also be poverty, right? And you see all of that.
Yeah, a lot of our families are struggling with poverty. They're struggling with, jobs. They're struggling with housing. They can't provide proper housing for their children. And if it's that bad, sometimes the state needs to step in, and provide support for those children and help the families move along in the process so we can help them get what they need so they can care for their children well.
Let's go here for a second, because I don't know about you, but I'm thinking to myself, oh, here comes Big Brother. Oh, here comes the state. It's not, you shouldn't look at it that way.
No. I mean, when it works extremely well. And I've seen it over the years. I've seen lots of children that have come into care for, say, a year. And we provide the care for those children in our foster homes so that the children continue with their education. They're going to doctors. We're making sure they're being taken care of. And then we're working with their biological families to address whatever those issues were. Because our goal is to help those children get back to mom and dad. They're always mom and dad. And we don't ever want to replace that. So our goal is to work on whatever those issues were in conjunction with the local county, because the county's providing a lot of these services for these children, and we're there just to help them get through so they can get their children back.
I'd like to think of this in the way that they describe it, really, which is that the community becomes an extended family.
Yes.
And that the sense there is that, okay, if a particular family is having a struggle, they've got a challenge, that you can reach out there's a team here to take care of this. Now, you see, on an emotional level, you see all kinds of combinations of stuff. What do you look for in trying to help a family in need and a foster family? How do you put them together?
So we do something we call matching. So we're looking at the unique needs of each child, because every child and every family is different. We have foster families from all walks of life. So we want to make sure that based on the information that we have, we're making the best match between the two of them possible.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah, if a family has a unique dynamic, maybe they are really interested in soccer, and we find out, this kid's really interested in soccer or something like that, then maybe that could be a great match. Or if we know a family is really, involved in maybe their community in some way, and there's a child that could really use some extended supports, growing a bigger support system, then maybe that would be a great match too. So we look at a lot of different things. It's kind of neat.
I bet you do. Obviously, the need is there are a lot more children looking for homes than there are foster homes available for these children. Just in case you're wondering, do I have to be in my 20s? Do I have to be in my 30s? Do I have children of my own? Do I have to have a dog? What's the criteria?
You don't need a dog.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to have a dog.
How about a cat?
Dogs are nice.
Cats, okay. 21 years of age is like your number one criteria. You got to have your own home. I mean, there's just some basic, simple things that you got to be able to provide for a child. Beyond that, it's about who you are and what kind of a family you are, because it isn't for everybody, but it's probably for a lot more people than they realize because of the different levels of foster care that we have, the respite services. Those are families who just provide for, say, a weekend. Because some families, in order to keep their children from coming into care, if they just have that weekend break every now and then because of the intensity of what's going on in their home, that's tremendously helpful to them, and they don't need to come into care. That's really a goal of ours too, is to prevent them from coming to us. We talked about the number of foster homes. We talked about the matching. The more homes we have, the better we can match. And that's a huge piece for us.
Yeah, I bet it is. And also, you don't have to have children of your own.
No, you do not.
Correct? And if you, anywhere from 21 up, right? I mean, the most important thing here, I go back to this word all the time in this conversation, permanency. These children are unsettled. They don't know about their future. They need to be protected. And when you think about that, then, being a foster parent almost seems like a no-brainer, something that, if you're capable of doing it, if you're willing to do it. We're only scraping the surface of this, and we're out of time. I want to make you aware of a website. Give Hope a Home, ny.org. Now, it's a little long, so I'm going back. Give Hope a Home, New York, ny.org. And find out about this. It doesn't mean that you have to change your life. It doesn't mean that you have to give up anything. Actually, it means the opposite. You are really extending and taking your life experience and helping a younger person get the right footing to get a proper start in life. Boy, I commend you both. I think you're an inspiration to talk to. Thanks.
Well, thank you for having us.
And thank you very much for coming in. Don't forget, Give Hope a Home, ny.org. Thank you both very much for coming in.
Thank you.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.